this is Dave Hompes from hpylorisymptoms.com. And in this short video, I'd really like to explain to you the benefits of using home-based stool tests to assess the function of your digestive system. You may be walking around each day and wondering why you have heartburn and acid reflux, or why you feel, as though you're 6 or 7 months pregnant because you're that bloated, why you might be having loose stools, why you might have abdominal cramps and gas and wind and belching and all of these different digestive symptoms. The stool tests that we use with our clients and patients are extremely effective, and I'm going to come on to them in just a moment or so. Now, as you may be aware, the medical system doesn't really like to test you to figure out why you have these symptoms. A little bit of irritable bowel syndrome, a little bit of heartburn, a little bit of bloating here or there is enough to kind of really deteriorate or detract from your quality of life, but it's not really enough to justify spending a lot of money within the medical system to try and find out what is wrong. The problem with that is that mild or moderate symptoms today could actually turn into something more serious later on in life if you don't deal with them. So if your doctor is not willing to test you for things like parasites and H. pylori and bacterial overgrowth and candida and all of these different things, we're able to help using these home-based stool tests. Now, it was one of these stool tests that actually helped me identify that I had H. pylori, a parasite called blastocystis hominis, and also a candida overgrowth all the way back in 2007. And it was that test that actually set me on the path to become inspired to help people like you improve your health as well. Now, even when the doctors do run tests, whether it's the NHS here in the UK, or whether it's through your insurance companies in places like the US, for example, the tests are not particularly accurate. They're still using technology that was kind of used 25 years ago to try and find some of these bugs, and they are notorious for returning false negative results. That means that you have a lot of stuff going on in your digestive system, but the stool test misses it. Then, when you have your doctor's appointment, your doctor says, well, the test came back negative, you just need to go home and live with these symptoms because there's nothing going on, right? Now, in my opinion, that's not acceptable because the technology is available to identify and evaluate how your digestive system is working in a lot more detail than is currently given credit for within the medical system. Using a single stool sample, you're able to identify or detect dozens and dozens of different potentially bad bugs. These include H. pylori, and not just a single H. pylori marker. We're talking about H. pylori and different strains of H. pylori that tend to cause the most symptoms and the most disease in people. We're talking about parasites like Giardia and Cryptosporidium, Entamoeba histolytica, and Blastocystis hominis. We're talking about lots of yeast and fungal species, such as Candida, for example, that can overwhelm the digestive system and cause many, many problems. We're also talking about pathogenic bacteria like Salmonella, Vibrio, and Clostridium difficile, not to mention E. coli. And we're talking about opportunistic bacteria that the medical system doesn't really identify as problematic yet, but we know from the scientific literature that many people improve their health when they detect some of these bacteria and then get rid of them. And some of the fancy names are things like Yersinia, Klebsiella, Citrobacter, Pseudomonas, and so on and so forth. Now, you're probably not interested in all the long names. Leave that to us when we're assessing and interpreting the test for you. In addition to finding the bad bugs, these tests are also able to tell you whether you have optimal levels of the good bugs, things like Bifidobacter and Lactobacillus, for example. They're also able to detect inflammation. They're also able to detect whether you have gluten sensitivity, and they're also able to detect how strong your immune system is within the digestive tract as well. And you might be wondering, well, to get all of this information, it must be a really complex process, but nothing could be further from the truth. The laboratory sends a test kit to your house, you do a single stool sample, you send your test kit back to the lab, and within about 10 days, you receive your results on a PDF document. We then interpret the results for you, explain what's going on, explain how the test fits in with your symptoms or your illness, and then we help you design a roadmap and hold your hand through a process so that you can remove the bad bugs, restore your digestive function, and overcome your symptoms. It couldn't be a simpler process. Now, if you'd like to get hold of one of these test kits for yourself, please visit my website at hpylorisymptoms.com. There's a free mini ebook there which explains the tests in a lot more detail and provides a number of specific case studies so that you can see exactly how the testing works and exactly how it's helped other people who are probably in a situation very similar to the one that you're in now. My name is Dave Hompes. I hope you've really enjoyed this video. It's been my pleasure sharing the information with you, and I really look forward to talking with you again soon. Thanks.